Neota.
Hi, Miri. It's
Hi,
nice to
let's
see you
talk about
today.
you too. And sorry for jumping right in, but let's talk about trauma and how it can impact someone's life.
Yes. Well, as you know, as we communicate, you and I, trauma is my wheelhouse. But um, I believe that trauma is what all hypnotherapists work with. I believe trauma is what we are dealing with in our lives day to day. And the reason I say that is because as clinical hypnotherapists, we don't diagnose our clients. We don't prescribe anything. We don't make diagnosis. What we do with our clients is we bring them into a safe environment, build a rapport and a level of trust, and we help them resolve their issues. And those issues are symptoms of an adverse event in their life that created an emotional response.
And
That
this is
emotional
how
response,
we define trauma.
that's how we define trauma. So our clients come to us with whatever their issues are, and we help our clients with so many things: insomnia, eating habits, behaviors, poor relationships, smoking, fears. The list is endless of what we can help. Um, when people are procrastinators, when they're dealing with issues of um, self-sabotage or imposter syndrome or lack of self-worth, all of these things, every single thing that I have listed and more is the result of a behavior that is an emotional response to an adverse event. So every behavior is tied to an emotion, and every emotion is tied to a root cause. And that's a trauma. And that's what we all deal with, whether we bill it that way or not. That is what we are helping our clients with.
So let's start with who we are, because we are not psychologists, we are not counselors, we are hypnotherapists, both of us.
Yeah.
And we help people through hypnosis, or the tools of hypnosis, resources in the inner mind, to deal with this adverse reaction to events,
Yes,
right?
that's right.
So yeah, and this is why we're not diagnosed, like we're not a diagnostics, we are not making any assumptions. We work with what the client is telling us about their
Yeah.
situation.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And we talk to them about their symptoms. And then we use a state of hypnosis, which is where we people come to us to get to that sweet spot between talk therapy and meditation. Because as our friend and colleague Bob will explain, it's not it's not a conscious problem that you're dealing with. If it was a conscious problem you were dealing with, you would be able to consciously solve it. It's a
Yes.
subconscious problem that you have. And that is why we use the subconscious access through hypnosis to resolve the issue. And,
Yeah.
it's when I talk about an adverse event, I've had clients who have attached behaviors that they choose to come to me to resolve that were tied to, what you would almost consciously call a non-event, a moment in their life when they felt a sense of embarrassment or bewilderment at, when kids venture outside of their family unit, when they start to venture into society and into school or playgrounds, and they are experiencing unexpected responses from other people that are uncomfortable and bewildering sometimes, that can create a small doubt, which will grow into um, a whole bouquet of doubts where they're reconfiguring themselves in society and how they fit in and how people are. And well, gosh, at my house, I'm the boss of everything. What I say goes, and I get every color I want, and everybody does what I want. And when you go into the world, and then people are kids can be really, really mean. Kids can be bossy. They can be, mean. They can say mean things, hurtful things. They can bully, even unintentionally. They can exclude, and that can cause it's an adverse event, and that can cause an emotion, and that emotion can cause an unhealthy behavior.
So what we are saying that if we take an event that in wider perspective, we don't consider as a trauma, at that moment in time, it could have been traumatic to the person in the situation. And I think
Yes,
this is what we are looking at. I think, sometimes when we work with regression and we bring people back in their imagination, in their mind to the root cause of the issue, sometimes they look at it and say, oh, that's it.
yeah,
But sometimes, yeah, that's it. So
that's it.
the event doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be complicated, complex. It can be a usual event, as we see it as a usual event, that
Yeah,
can brought up, elicited some of the very strong and negative emotions in the moment. And we didn't
yes.
release the emotions up until we're dealing with the emotions rather than with the event.
Exactly. We're
And
resolving the emotion by revisiting the event
yeah,
and giving it a different perspective. Now we
and
do
knowing,
start.
sorry,
Sorry.
and knowing that emotions resides in the subconscious mind,
Yes.
it's not a conscious issue, it's a subconscious issue. And
Yeah.
based on science, if conscious mind is only 5% of our capacity of what we are spending time on, and subconscious is 95%, then there is no equality between the conscious and the subconscious, and we cannot resolve a subconscious issue with a power of only 5%.
Well, yeah. If humans were logical beings, not saying that we're completely illogical, but if we were strictly logical beings, then you would say, oh, it's unreasonable for me to not be able to sleep. It's unreasonable. I need sleep. So I'm just going to sleep from now on. And that would be the solution. But that's not the way we are. Humans are emotional beings.
Exactly. So it's not only the logical, it's also the emotions that are attached to the logic or illogic. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And when we actually revisit through regression, when we revisit those situations where something was disruptive.
So just before you continue, I just want to clarify. When you say we visit, we mean we visit from a safe place. We're not just diving in there. We make sure that we have the tools to deal with it. We feel safe, we feel protected, and we are feel okay to look at what happened, real or imagined. Even our memory is shifting, so memories can shift and change and move. So this, just to clarify what you're saying, when we visit
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's it's revisiting an event that was traumatic for us in the moment with the ability to use your power or us to help people guide people into a place of empowerment where they have a different perspective and they are able to safely and comfortably
Mhm.
reconfigure their emotions about
Yeah.
a negative event.
Yeah.
And that, for clarity, I have never had a client. I've done regression with the majority of my clients. I have never had my client go to like suppressed memories or anything like that. I mean, there's things that they don't consciously remember, but the general gist of it is not very shocking to my client. However the situation plays out, like sometimes it's a non-event. They felt a moment of embarrassment in a group setting, or uh, you know, a client who re-experienced some negative emotions that they were experiencing as a child that they didn't, really pick up on. But with the perspective of revisiting it as an adult, gave them the ability to be like, oh, I really felt this uncomfortable. And it just gives that sense of empowerment to change how you feel, to restore your power, give you control over a situation that you didn't have control over, and to use your logical adult mind to assimilate how you felt as a child. And anyone who has children or is around children knows that children can be susceptible to traumatic events out of non-events. If they're overtired, if they're over hungry, it adds to the emotional response that they have to any given situation. You can see a kid be traumatized in the grocery store by, some things not going their way. And those emotions are too big. They're too big for the little person to manage. And so they start skewing around and they attach to an emotion, and that emotion attaches to a behavior.
So if we are talking about trauma and hypnosis and how we can help with, or how hypnosis can help, not specifically the two of us, but in general, how hypnosis can help. And of course, everyone has their own way of dealing, as a hypnotherapist with trauma.
Yeah.
So what we basically do is we give them different tools and strategies to deal with those memories or sensation and emotions that come to surface due to the traumatic event. And it can be in different ways. As you mentioned, it can be through regression, but it doesn't have to be through regression.
No, it doesn't.
What we're looking as an outcome is that someone can see it for what it was, as simple as it was, or as complex as it was.
As complex or as damaging, indeed.
Yeah, but we'll be able to move on with their life. And
you've already survived it. Everything that has happened in your life before today, you've already survived it.
Yes.
So you may as well, release your emotional attachment to it if it's continuing to hurt you. Now, I'm not trying to minimize or simplify it. I'm just trying to say we all deserve to live without the ongoing results of trauma.
And I think your comment of not trying to discount it is very much in place, because sometimes we meet clients who come because of anxiety or because of sleep issues, because of, eating habits. And when we start to uncover the things and peeling the onion, what we see is a very, very damaging trauma that is lying underneath. It can be sexual abuse, it can be physical abuse, mental abuse, anything like this.
Indeed.
And the feelings and emotions that are coming from it are impacting the life as we see it. So I think what you said, it's very much in place. We are not discounting anything, whether it was like someone didn't get what they want in the supermarket, but something that is much more complex, like any type of abuse, embarrassment, and shame.
Yeah.
We are not discounting.
We're not minimizing it, or we're not dismissing it at all, but we can address all of the emotion from the entire scale, from small to large. We can help our clients overcome the emotional attachment to their trauma, and it can be monstrous in size, and we can help. We can.
Absolutely. Inside, it can. So I think we're going to talk next time about the emotions that can manifest when we are not dealing with the trauma or the events, and how they might look and feel like.
Not just the emotions, but a lot of ways that trauma presents, unresolved trauma presents in our lives. We can discuss all of those things. Takes a whole meeting for that one.
Yeah, and I just want to say that we are hypnotherapists. Again,
Yes.
we work with the modality of hypnosis, and using hypnosis, we can tap into our subconscious mind and we can tap into our inner resources. We can also learn new ones.
Yes.
And this will help us change our perceptions about what happened, but mostly about who we are and how we can deal with it in future, like present and future. And I think that's what makes the difference.
Absolutely. Good call. Yep.
So let's talk quickly about how people can reach out to us. So let's start with you.
Okay, I'm Neota Tinkler, and I am located in Nanaimo, BC on Vancouver Island. I see clients in person at Vancouver Island Therapy, but I do see clients internationally through Zoom or any video calling like this. And so I'm available worldwide, and I can be reached through my website, neotahypnotherapy.com.
Thank you. And I'm not too far away from you. I'm in Vancouver, BC. My name is Miri Malkin. I'm a hypnotherapist and a coach. And as Neota said, I see people in my office, but mostly the vast majority of people that I see is online. And again, it varies, like different countries, different states. And I love working with different issues and to help people live their better life. And until next time, thank you
Yes.
so much. And if you have any questions, if you want to get in touch with us, you can find our contact details down below. And feel free. We would love to start a conversation and would love to hear from you. And of course,
Indeed.
subscribe to our channel if you want more of this content.
Yes.
Thank you.
See you next
Until
time.
next time. Bye bye.